And by the way, here's Gorka. Rob, if you can play this clip. Gorka's at a Politico event. And at this Politico event, the lady's asking him a question. And he goes on a 2-minute rant.
So good.
On her, which is absolutely a clinic. You just got to watch this. By the way, Gorka's a very tall, big man sitting there giving this message. Just watch this. It's a beautiful thing.
This.
Go ahead, Rob.
A member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist.
How do you know if that they're members of these gangs? What I'm saying
You mean
is,
the tattoos MS-13 on our knuckles doesn't, that doesn't help it?
those
Do you have tattoos of Al-Qaeda?
the tattoo did not say MS-13.
wrist?
I don't want to get into that.
Oh, of course it does. It's just accidents. The 4 symbols represent the letters MS. See, this is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those 4 symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here, because this isn't journalism. This is protecting those who hate America. Shame on you. We are saving lives.
Sir.
Saving lives. How about Maryland fathers compared to Maryland mothers? Like Rachel Marin,
Here we go.
mother of 5, raped and murdered and thrown in a ditch. How about Jocelyn Nungare, age 12, raped a mile from her home and thrown in a ditch? It's strange that Politico doesn't do articles about her, that mother, or that 12-year-old girl. Why is that? Why is the MS-13 guy with the knuckle tattoos more important in terms of due process than the lives of 12-year-old girls brutally raped? It's weird that the priorities shift to defending the member of an FTO, but not the children and the women. Dan Crenshaw told me a story once of a 16-year-old girl who was smuggled across this border. The parents paid $5,000 for her to live in America, the land of milk and honey. She ended up locked in a room in New York, raped by more than a dozen men every day for 18 months until she escaped. She went to Dan Crenshaw's office, and I'm no friend of Dan Crenshaw's, okay? He's still got TDS. And that girl said to him, please close the border so another girl doesn't have to be raped by 12 strange men every day for 18 months. It's strange that Politico doesn't cover those stories. Could you tell me why?
We have covered.
No, you haven't. You have not covered those stories. I'd like to see the Jocelyn Nungare, Rachel Marin stories in comparison to the Russia
collusion garbage. I mean, let's be honest here.
Let's move on.
You have an agenda.
I mean, he just.
Let's move on
because.
I forgot.
Let's move on because.
I thought I was in a movie theater just watching, bro. I love Sebastian just bodied her. And by the way, did you hear the audience groan in the beginning, and then it was just crickets?
Yeah, Tom, your thoughts?
Hey, you know what? When faced with truth, when you put a bright light on truth, guess what happens? It's very, very hard to spin the darkness, and that's what the reason she is speechless. In the face of, and why wouldn't, reporters interrupt, reporters become shrill, reporters turn up the volume. You wait right there, you stop right there. We've seen it on CNN. We've seen it what Scott goes through. And Gorka's just laying her out, just boom, and that's it. And so he's putting facts in her face, and it's true, but this is how Politico managed it, unfortunately. And Dasha Burns there was left unarmed because there is nothing. She's sitting there like, what am I supposed to say? And she's trying to put a little spin at the end. Well, let's move on. That's all she's got is let's move on, because the bright light of truth showed up and the reality of what Politico was about on these kind of stories and giving due process to this guy. Really? Come on.
Vinny.
It still boggles my mind that they're not going to shift. Adam makes a good point. Like with Gays for Gaza, like where's your mind at? Like what makes you think that that's like cool? Like and the same thing with Politico and all MSNBC, CNN, they have been sticking up for that. By the way, we're still kind of talking about an MS-13 gang member that was here illegally, that was beating his wife, that left, and they sent on our tax dollar, Democrat congressmen flew there, made huge scenes on our tax dollars to try to get this guy back. They were fighting for a domestic terrorist. And then, by the way, and Alina Habba just pressed charges on some, who was it, Tom? On a
representative from New Jersey who broke into the Newark ICE detention facility. I have the video if you want to show it.
Think about this. They're fighting literally fighting for illegals, and there wasn't one peep of any compassion for the girls, and there was a bunch of them. Mind you, thank God because of Trump, when's the last time you heard of an illegal raping and murdering a girl and throwing her in a ditch, and silence from MSNBC? It hasn't been happening because he closed the border, but this is a shame that they're fighting for gang members, but when it comes to American girls, they can care less. And shame on Politico. That's why I'm happy they're all at one point going to be finished, gone. CNN, MSNBC, all of them. Think about it. The only reason people are watching Abby Phillips, if you really think about it, is why. Honestly. Why? Who would watch that show? It's because Scott Jennings, Tom?
Vinny, when you only have 3 cards in your deck, that's the only cards you play.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
Adam,
They have
thoughts?
nothing to fight for. They have nothing to stand on.
This is sort of the ongoing conversation of, are we prioritizing illegals or newcomers, or are we prioritizing American citizens? There's been an ongoing debate of the left and the right, and which clearly Trump won, of why the hell are we keeping this border open, or why are we giving money out to illegal citizens? Why are we giving health care to these people while we're basically treating our own citizens as second-class citizens? You know where it's the most poignant? The most poignant are in the inner cities like Chicago. Have you seen how frustrated African-American, Black Americans are with their government? They're like, what do you mean that you're providing these illegal immigrants with money? What about us?
Yep.
The maddest people with the most
is this clip,
to say
Vinny?
are African-Americans in inner cities like Chicago. They are fed.
What is this? Vinny?
Rob,
This is LaMonica McIver. She is a Democratic representative from the state of New Jersey. This is her pushing an ICE official trying to break into the ICE detention facility, and now she has been charged by the state of New Jersey.
Let me see it.
Alina
She's, according to reports, she's the one in the red.
Who's she
She's
pushing?
elbowing. Look, she's hitting. She's
Right
hitting
there, ICE officials.
She a big girl too.
Oh well.
That's a fullback right there, buddy.
And yeah, why? Look, she's swinging on him. This is an attorney.
This is funny. Come for the photo op, stay for the felony.
Yeah, and guess what though? Alina Habba has officially charged her with assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement.
That's assault,
and that's what
brother.
they get. And on a lighter note, Pat and Tom, I know me and you talked about this. The Supreme Court just gave a green light for Trump to end temporary protective status for over 320,000 Venezuelans, which is great. And then the lower courts try to block Trump from ending it, calling it discrimination. The Supreme Court voted 8-1 ruling, and guess who was the only one that voted against it? Ketanji Brown Jackson, the one that Biden probably doesn't even know that he put in there. So there's another win for Donald Trump and the American people. 320,000 elite people that are not supposed to be here are going back home.
Did you
Thousands of Venezuelans.
320,000.
I want to ask is 1 Chilean on that list?
Oh no, it might be. He might be. He might be.
It's my
I know
Can we go
the
check
guy
if he's
you're
out there?
thinking
No,
of.
I'm just
Is he back
asking.
there?
I'm
Okay.
asking a basic question.
By
Go
the
ahead,
way,
Adam.
We'll check.
Let's leave that Chilean
And there we
alone.
go.
Let's leave that guy alone. By the way, did you
Is he
see
here?
JD Vance address all the illegals this weekend in that interview? Did you happen to
Was
see
he on
that?
the airplane?
No, he was sitting down. I don't know if you can find this, Rob, but they was having a conversation, and the interview was like, it was like sitting in a room. I don't know. Maybe it's it. That might be it right below, where she's basically like, right below it, Rob.
It's not it.
Where
That's
she
October
says,
12th.
he's like, she's like, what are we gonna do with? We need more housing in this country. How are we gonna build housing?
Well, yeah,
supply and
Americans
demand?
should be doing
And he
it.
goes, yeah, well, we probably shouldn't have 10 to 20 million illegals. That's probably messing with the housing. And then she kind of boldly goes, well, how are we gonna build all the houses if we kick out the illegals? And he goes, I'm objecting to the premise of this conversation. Are you trying to say, there it is right there. Are you trying to say that Americans can't build houses and we need illegals to basically build our housing? Here it is, play this clip.
Yeah, just so you know, this is from, I believe, October
Yeah, that's not new.
of
Okay,
2024.
but it's true.
That is true.
Is a housing crisis, is that not enough houses have been built.
And that we have 25 million people who should be here.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I
think it's both.
I know you do. I don't think that many people who look into this agree with you, but about a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large proportion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country? by removing all the people who are working in construction.
How do we function as a
Well, I think
society
it's
without
a
having
fair
illegal
question
shit?
because we know that back in the 1960s when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses, didn't build houses.
Sarcasm.
But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, in service of a point, Lulu, the assumption that because a large number of home builders now are using undocumented labor, that's the only way to build homes. I think, again,
The country is much bigger.
a fundamental...
The need is much bigger. I mean, I'm not arguing in favor of illegal immigration. I'm
No, you
asking
are.
Yes, you are.
You actually are.
It's not
That's what you just
a
said.
proposal to remove millions
so
of
that's
people
the
who work in a critical
disingenuousness
part
of
the
these
economy.
interviewers right here.
When it's
Well, I
not
think that what
Americans
you
should be
would do-
working. Like, how about Americans go build those houses? Hire Americans.
Look, her premise was
stupid.
she's like, how are we supposed to function as a society
Without
and build
illegals.
houses without the illegals? You idiot. And he's like, because
So
we've
you
done
opened
it
the border
before.
because you needed a house?
Yeah. So
Well, let me show this. I mean, obviously, when you're seeing stuff like this, common sense is going to prevail. By the way, it's interesting seeing the race right now between Florida, California, Texas, and New York cats. Okay,
What's
it's
going
on
on?
fire.
Well,
Can I
can
give you
I
the-
guess who's number one?
Who do you think's number one?
California.
Well, number one is for the merch, for the hats, the VT merch.
I'm
hat.
going with New York.
Remember, the Florida ones are limited out of
going with
250.
New York.
All the other are limited supplies. The Florida ones are 99. The other ones are 34.
Okay, so I'm gonna say
But
Cali.
even with that, let me tell you who's number one. Number one right now is Florida.
All right, like
Who's
I
number
said,
two?
Florida, baby.
Number 2, Cali.
Cali's number two. Who's three? Texas or New York?
Texas. Texas.
Texas is three.
Yeah.
And
New
then
York
New
is
York
last.
Hey, New York, wake
Come
up!
on,
Smell the
New
coffee
York.
over
You
here.
know,
Man,
it's
get
East
your
Coast.
California's just waking up
That's
right now.
right. California's just
7:30
waking
New
up.
York.
They're
Where you
beating
at?
New York.
I'm walking
Pride.
here.
And by the way, a lot of other states are saying, hey, man, how about us? You know,
Yeah.
how about us? If we get a lot of emails from different states, we will entertain other states. Right now, we're just targeting the 4 states that watch the podcast.
How about
the
New
most.
Jersey? They like Trump more than they like their own governor.
They do. We got a special merch drop today with these 4 states. If you want to play this clip, we have officially 4 hats, each representing Florida, California, Texas, and New York. What's wild about these 4 states is I lived in California for 24 years, longest I ever lived in a state. I lived in Texas for 5 years. I've been in Florida for 4 years. And we own the minority owners of New York Yankees. So there is something going on with each of these 4 states. And it happens to be the top 4 states that we have here. These hats will go like this, okay? Because they're limited. We don't have a big supply of them. But the Florida one is going to sell out in minutes like it always does. Why? Because it is numbered 1 out of 250. And when you order those, they come in this box, the Valuetainment Future Looks Bright box with the hat inside of it. Florida's is going to have the red back lid, which is not lid. What do you call this thing here,
That's
Vinny?
their flag.
What do you call this, Vinny? Here, this is
snapback.
The snapback. And then you have Florida's flag here with Florida's map on the side. And then you got same thing with Texas, with New York, with California. So here's what we're going to be doing. 2 things. You got the shirt, sweaters, and the hats. Limited supply. Anybody that places the order, the first 100 are going to get a Future Looks Bright keychain, or you see the keychain right there. Whether you order 1 hat, 2 hats, or whatever you order, you're going to get those right there. However, I want to show you something crazy I sent to Chris this morning. Rob, go to eBay. Go to eBay if you can, and type in Future Looks Bright. This is absolutely wild. So if you go to eBay, Vinny, have you seen this lately? Future Looks Bright. Look what's there. Look at this.
$400.
These numbered hats
$800.
end up, but watch this, $800 for one of them. Keep going. Okay, keep going. $249.
Last one. That means you already sold one.
Listen to this. Let it go lower. Watch what happens here with the rest of them. Okay, keep going. It's becoming a marketplace on eBay on some of these guys. Some of them, the super fans buy, they wear it. I absolutely love it. You're going to see me on Jesse Waters tonight.
$10,000? Are you serious?
But I mean, that's how numbered stuff goes.
Oh,
He's got the 1 out of 250, though. So if you go lower, tonight when I'm on Jesse, by the way, even that backpack, we sold them. It's $2,028 for a numbered backpack. There was only 100 of them. We did limited. The red ones. We'll never do it again. The other one was the Future Looks Bright, the white and the gold, $3,000. Anyways, gang, if you believe the future looks bright, we want 1 million people wearing this gear, sporting it all over the place with the Valuetainment brand. Go to vtmerch.com, place the order. And those of you guys that are in the PBD Podcast Circle, you were told about this before anybody else, as well as the PBD Entrepreneur Circle. If you join the circle, you get these merch drops before anybody else. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.